Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the reading of Exodus. Yesterday was such a long day. I didn't get to read this note from the Battlefield of the Mind Bible, so I'd like to do that before we start chapter 5. In Exodus 4, God appears to Moses to tell him to lead the Israelites out of Egypt. But because of the limitations of his thinking, Moses doesn't believe he can do all God is asking him to do. God responds to Moses by asking him, "What is that in your hand?" God is essentially saying, "Stop telling me what you don't have and can't do, and tell me what you do have. What's in your hand?" Then God takes what Moses has, a staff, which is basically a stick, and he fills it with his power. God can use anything we are willing to offer him. If he can use a stick, surely he can use you and me. Sometimes we feel we need to wait to obey God until we can figure out how we can do it all on our own. That's not necessary. All we need to do is give him what we have, receive the power he offers us, and do whatever he asks of us through his strength. And I thought that was a very important note for us to see on yesterday. So give God whatever you have. Stop telling him what you don't have. He doesn't care. He knows exactly what you have. So give that to him, and then he will fill it with his power, and you will succeed. Okay, let's start with chapter 5, the first encounter with Pharaoh. So Moses is now he went back to Egypt, he met with the Israelites, and now he's going to talk to Pharaoh about letting his people go, God's people go. Afterwards, Moses and Aaron went in and told Pharaoh, "Thus says the Lord God of Israel, let my people go, that they may hold a feast to me in the wilderness." And Pharaoh said, "Who is this Lord that I should obey his voice to let Israel go? I do not know the Lord, nor will I let Israel go." Now, there is a note here that says, Pharaoh could have avoided tremendous grief if he had heeded this simple request. Instead, he refused to obey the Lord because he didn't know him. He didn't recognize him as a deity among Egypt's pantheon. So they said, "The God of the Hebrews has met with us. Please let us go 3 days' journey into the desert and sacrifice to the Lord our God, lest he fall upon us with pestilence or with the sword." Then the king of Egypt said to them, "Moses and Aaron, why do you take the people from their work? Get back to your labor." And Pharaoh said, "Look, the people of this land are many now, and you make them rest from their labors." So the same day Pharaoh commanded the taskmasters of the people and of their officers, saying, "You shall no longer give the people straw to make bricks as before. Let them go and gather straw for themselves. And you shall lay on them the quota of bricks which they had made before. You shall not reduce it, for they are idle. Therefore they cry out, saying, 'Let us go and sacrifice to our God.' Let more work be laid on the men, that they may labor in it, and let them not regard false words." And the note on this one says, instead of relenting, Pharaoh accused Moses and Aaron of enabling the people to be idle. He decided to prevent any further unruliness. His order, he reasoned, would keep the lazy slackers busy and avoid further whining about worshiping the Lord. And the taskmasters of the people and their officers went out and spoke to the people, saying, "Thus says Pharaoh, I will not give you straw. Go get yourself straw where you can find it, yet none of your work will be reduced." So the people were scattered abroad throughout all the land of Egypt to gather stubble instead of straw. And the taskmaster forced them to hurry, saying, "Fulfill your work, your daily quota, as when there was straw." Also the officers of the children of Israel, whom Pharaoh's taskmasters had set over them, were beaten and were asked, "Why have you not fulfilled your task in making bricks, both yesterday and today as before?" Then the officers of the children of Israel came and cried out to Pharaoh, saying, "Why are you dealing thus with your servants? There is no straw given to your servants, and they say to us, 'Make brick.' And indeed your servants are beaten, but the fault is in your own people." But he said, "You are idle, idle. Therefore you say, 'Let us go and sacrifice to the Lord.' Therefore go now and work, for no straw shall be given you. Yet you shall deliver the same quota of bricks." And the officers of the children of Israel saw that they were in trouble after it was said, "You shall not reduce any bricks from your daily quota." Then they came out from Pharaoh and met Moses and Aaron, who stood there to meet them. And they said to them, "Let the Lord look on you and judge, because you have made us abhorrent in the sight of Pharaoh and in the sight of his servants, to put a sword in their hand to kill us." Okay, so the next note says, upon leaving Pharaoh's presence, the Israelite foremen confronted Moses and Aaron. They angrily blamed the brothers for making matters worse. If the Hebrews hadn't wanted Moses for a deliverer in the past, they certainly didn't want him now. So Moses returned to the Lord and said, "Lord, why have you brought trouble on this people? Why is it you have sent me? For since I came to Pharaoh to speak in your name, he has done evil to this people. Neither have you delivered your people at all." The people blamed Moses, so he shifted the blame to God. He had quickly forgotten that God told him that Pharaoh's heart would be hard, that freedom would be won only by God's mighty power, and that it would be a fight to the death. So he had forgotten everything that God had told him, and now he's blaming God because the people are against him. That's pretty sad. What's going to happen? Are they going to have to continue to make bricks without straw? Are their pyramids going to fall down because there's no straw in them? Don't know, but we will find out tomorrow. You all have a fabulous day, and I'll see you tomorrow for chapter 6. Bye-bye.